my new shoes. You're in your new suit. The old country band up on the stand has become one. We were happy walking in. Now there's tears in our bourbon, 'cause we've somehow come down. Oh, we've come down with the pedal steel blues. We used to two-step and wear out the hardwood. Now it's all crying to sad songs and waltzes, and it's last call for alcohol to kick us out soon. We'll still be singing and smoking and drinking to the cry of the pedal steel blues.
Debatably, if not the most Southern name, I got Caroline Grace with me today. You doing well?
I'm doing great.
Great, great. Well, it's been a minute since we've seen each other, but you have been dropping song after song. And like they just heard, you got one coming up that is doing well. I normally don't do this, but what do you want to tell us about the song they just heard?
So it's called Pedal Steel Blues, and we just demoed it, but we're all absolutely loving it, and we're going to get it recorded as soon as possible. Hopefully drop it in May. And
Hopefully drop it in May.
Some beautiful pedal steel on it. I absolutely love pedal steel. I think that's my soul instrument, so I had to write a song about it. And it turned out good.
I love that. Yeah, and it's pushing to May. Is that for the studio, or are you trying to do some work? What's delaying it right now? Is it just the early works of being a young artist?
Well, we're gonna get it recorded, and then we want to market this one really well. We want to get it out there as much as possible before we drop it. So we're pushing it out a little bit.
And you don't have to tell all the secrets just in case someone else takes it, but like what goes into your marketing? Do you have someone specific, or are you doing it? If the case is like either way, do you have a specific strategy that y'all go through to promote these?
That's what we're kind of branching out into for this song specifically, because we've kind of done all of it ourselves up until now. I'm working with someone new now, and he actually knows what he's doing. Everything before now has been our own kind of DIY methods, so we're actually going to be legit with this one and do a good job, because it's probably the best one so far. I wrote it with my producer Charlie Wiles and my drummer Jordan Kane. I took that one to them and they helped me knock it out. It was great. So we're gonna do as good as we can marketing this one before we drop it.
I love that. Yeah, you really haven't missed. I would say almost since the beginning, like everything you've been dropping, I feel like you've been doing great marketing, so I'm curious what's going to happen coming into May. I'm looking forward to that, but now that you have some professionals in there, what about the Wild Horses? What professions do they have outside of music?
Let's see. I think everyone is pretty much full-time musicians.
Do they have any like special talents though, like that they bring to the band?
I mean, my steel player, he plays steel. Gosh, he plays everything. He plays dobro, mandolin, banjo, bass, lead guitar. He does everything. His name's Robbie. Hi, Robbie. We love you. You're amazing. And then I normally write with my producer and my drummer, so they are kind of my little songwriting group. I used to just write all by myself, and I still do for the most part, but if there's something that I want help with, that's who I go to. So they do songwriting as well. Jordan Kane, actually, my drummer, he has a band called Atlantis Aquarius, and I've been tracking background vocals on his stuff. Yeah, he's releasing a gospel album on Easter, and we're driving up to Denver. We got a show up there. I'm going to sing background vocals for his band, so we have that going. And it's pretty fun. They have, oh my gosh, he has amazing music. So there's that, and then, let's see, my bass player, Max, he also plays for Quaker City Nighthawks. Pretty decent sized band. They are really good. And he plays for Tanner Usry now. Good job, Max. Tanner's great. And let's see, most of my band members are like my band members, but we have to switch in and out. Sometimes we have to sub quite a bit. So I've had some really good people sub in with me. I really appreciate them. Y'all know who you are. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, they're all full-time music. And they play for me and some other bands, and it's great.
That's a huge blessing.
Yeah.
What do you normally look for in a band member? Even if you don't do the decision making, like what do you appreciate, a common quality maybe that you and maybe the culture y'all have built with the Wild Horses? Like what do y'all kind of see that makes you who you are?
I would say I can usually tell when someone has a genuine appreciation for country music, and that's normally what I look for. But also, I think it's kind of fun when you have a band member that can kind of do their own thing. Like, it doesn't have to be exactly like the recording, in my opinion. If I have someone playing for me, they don't have to note by note play the song exactly how it's recorded. I think it's pretty fun when they can, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of do their own thing, kind of put their own twist on it.
It can be spontaneous.
Spontaneous, yeah. So I look for that too, because I've had a couple band members ask me, like, do you want me to play this exactly how the recording sounds? And I'm like, do your own thing. Like, if you want to take an extra solo, just yell at me and I'll say, all right, go for it, you know? So that's pretty fun. I look for that.
You like a little bit of outlaw. They know the boundaries, but they know how to break them too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I still want to focus on you though, because I mean, you're the headliner of the band. Kind of taking it back, Elk City, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And are we still based out of Elk City?
Nope, I live just west of Fort Worth now. But
Come on.
Yeah, I'm a Texan now. I'm about to make it official. I gotta get a Texas driver's license.
Goodness, how do you feel about that?
I'm excited. I'll be an official Texas resident. So it's gonna be weird. I'm gonna feel like I'm a traitor to all of my Oklahoma friends, but it's alright.
What's the biggest difference you've seen so far?
There's a lot of similarities between Oklahoma and Texas. Oklahoma is like pretty much just the smaller Texas, but Texas has a lot more landscape, so that's nice.
Wow, that's we won't get into that. Coming from Arkansas, I won't say anything about that, but
well, southern Oklahoma is really pretty, and then
southeast Oklahoma, yeah.
Oklahoma has all the trees. I'm from western Oklahoma. If you don't know where Elk City is, we are 30 minutes east of the Texas Panhandle. So there is nothing. There's nothing out there. I love it. I still love it. I'll always go back. But there are cows and wind turbines and wind. That's pretty much it. So
home on the range.
Home. It's still home, yeah.
Yeah.
Home on the range, exactly.
That's not. I think I was more so going for the Oklahoma. And for some reason I went towards home on the range. But I guess it does fit. It does fit. It's western. That portion is western. But, oh yeah. Oklahoma, I actually was just talking to Carter Peasley about that when we both decided, like, we love Okies, but I can't. You won't catch me dead in Oklahoma. It's kind of like how some people view Waco. Like, drag my body in any direction. Take me to Kansas. Like, literally, as long as I'm not in Oklahoma when I die, we're good. We are good. And I always make the joke, I only like eastern Oklahoma because it's touching Arkansas. Like,
okay, I got
the
you.
Ouachita's come over the border, and there's Ouachita's in the southeast Oklahoma. I'm all about that. And there's a McGee Creek, my family, so it's like...
Okay, there you go.
I'm down with it. Have you seen the Red Dirt connection at all? Between Texas and Oklahoma? Like, do you feel that when you're saying it's a lot of similarities? Do you?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. But I've spent quite a bit of time in eastern Oklahoma. My mom's family lives, well, everybody knows where Pryor is. That's where Born and Raised is.
Mm-hmm.
They live in Pryor. They live in Locust Grove, way up there, northeast of Tulsa. So I've spent some time over there. I like it. It's decent.
Well, there's a difference between spending time and being from there, though.
That's true. We were in Fort Smith, Arkansas, not too long ago for Peacemaker, and that was a good time. Fort Smith is fun. I had never been there.
If you think Fort Smith is fun, just wait till you discover the rest of Arkansas. I graduated from Fort Smith, and a lot of people, they normally have a different nickname for it. They don't say Smith, but it's a good industrial town with a lot of great history. That's where I'll just leave it. I do miss home, but yeah, you gotta see more of Arkansas. But this isn't about me. This is about you. And West Oklahoma, I mentioned red dirt because I'm also curious. You kind of grew up with some bluegrass. I mean, also gospel, like you mentioned. I think that's very important, and I also think a lot of our greatest artists start in bluegrass, honky tonk artists rather. Clearly, we're on Honky Talkin, and we want to talk about honky tonk music. I think some of the best start in bluegrass, but I'm curious where, and you can correct me where you think my semantics are off, where you kind of went more towards Western than red dirt. Where did you connect with Western more? Was it growing up around horses? Was it the area? Was it the sound, like you're saying, the steel?
Mhm.
What do you think made you go that direction? And you could even, if you want, you can push over into where you think the separation is between country and Western.
So yeah, grew up bluegrass. I've got two sisters. Older sister Abigail, I'm at her house right now, and then my younger sister Georgia. And we were itty bitty. And my mom, like I said, she's from northeastern Oklahoma. She grew up with the Hillbillies, so she's
Shout out, Mom. We miss you, Mom. Oh, she was fantastic.
So she's a lot more country than my dad is, and so she brought all of that into us, and she got
As
us
she
started.
should.
Yes, she got us started, all three of us playing the fiddle when we were little bitty, which I cannot imagine doing as a mother or a parent in general, because the fiddle is horrifying to listen to when you're learning it. So I can't believe she made it out of that sane. But yeah, she got us started on that. We started playing little gigs, and then eventually each of us picked up a second instrument. So I also play mandolin. My older sister plays the banjo, and then Georgia picked up on guitar. So we called ourselves the Fiddlesticks. My grandma made us t-shirts, and we played for like Rotary clubs and church, a lot of church Christmas shows, stuff like that. And then we were in rodeo, so I'm kind of the only one that kept up with it permanently. Like, we would always go back to it a little bit, but we got really competitive in rodeo, and it kind of fell behind for the other two, and I kept it going. So the combination of bluegrass and then being in the Western world, and then just personal preference, it was always gonna be more like country and Western than red dirt for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love red dirt, don't get me wrong. I love everything about it, but I also love the mandolin and the pedal steel and all of the things that country Western music has. So it was always going to be country and Western for me, always.
Yeah, it's funny because we always called red dirt like the hillbilly poets. So it seems like you kind of took poetry from your mom's side, being that, and then you kind of went to your dad's side with the Western sound.
Mm-hmm.
You found a little bit of both there.
Yeah.
So yeah, how would you define, though, if you, in one or two sentences, or if you want to go on a deep dive of where do you separate country and Western?
From red dirt?
Just from each other, like
Okay.
country, like the term. He plays both kinds of music, country and Western. Why do you think there's an and? What do you think defines that and?
I don't know. I think country music, the epitome of country music for me is Alan Jackson. I've had a debate about this.
Come on, yes.
He's my favorite. My favorite artists: Alan Jackson, Marty Robbins, Emmylou Harris. So, and Stevie Nicks. I like to throw a little bit of Stevie Nicks in there, always. So I would say country. In my head, country music is Alan Jackson. And then Western, I feel like Western can be almost a little bit more vague. Like, would Marty Robbins be more Western? I mean,
I have an opinion, but I want you to trace your thoughts. I want you to keep going.
I can't say I have that fully figured out. I've just kind of always associated them with each other in ways that I guess I don't even understand. But I'm glad you asked me that, because now I'm going to put more thought into it. I'm very glad you did that.
The issue I kind of run into when I try to talk with Western artists, and again, I call you a Western artist because that's what you fit well. That does not define you. Western artists, that's where you find home. You can still play bluegrass. You can still play, I think, I'm going to call it now, I think you're going to drop a Red Dirt album if it be in 10 years. I think there's a side of you that you're going to still dig down into the roots and go to eastern Oklahoma, and you're going to want to go take off your shoes and get around a bonfire and write some angsty Stevie Nicks type album. I'm just calling it. But I think early Western was Western because it was what the Cowboys did. It was very easy to tell. Country was East Coast, Western was West Coast. And even it affected how we danced, with Bob Wills and the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl driving everyone to the West, and then the South maintaining bluegrass, gospel, folk. And it created that sound, right? And so you had the Gillies type country honky tonk, and then you had the dive bar type honky tonk sound, which I'm a little ahead of myself. But you had more, swing and folk. Very, very key differences, but very obvious differences. But when we stopped expanding westward, like there was no need for really cowboys on drives. Everything now is fenced off. There's no more barbed wire needed. We started settling down, and I think there was just a time of like everyone kind of mixing when we came out of Bakersfield and started fighting Nashville. That's when everything kind of hit, and it was like, who is what? But at that time, country and western still wasn't cool, right? So at that point, no one really cared about definitions because it was literally like, we're all the same. We all like the same music. Like, we trust Marty Robbins. Whatever he drops, if he dropped a disco album, we're going to go listen to it because it's Marty Robbins, right? But what I kind of see Western has kind of developed into is, with Marty, it was like the same sound. It was constantly, and he's storytelling, and it was like heavy storytelling, right? But it's like, it pushes you to want to do something. Or, Dave Stamey, he is clearly Western.
Yeah.
Like, does he play some, but it's not pure bluegrass. It's just a banjo. And so then you kind of get to the newer age, though, when you have people like Charlie Crockett. Where does he fit? He's Western, but I think he's Western because I still think the same way Marty did, Western just means traditional. Like, Western means kind of old, and that's kind of why we see the Appalachian, like, revolution or revival start. They kind of sound Western now. Sierra Farrell, it's like, she's clearly Appalachian, but like she hangs out with all the Western players, so it's like, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, and that's why I just like to clearly define it and hear what other people say, because it's just fun to see how much this community, like 4 years ago, we had nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing. That sounds super bad, but like we were arguing over everything, and now we're arguing over like too much. We got so much even on the radio, like mainstream. We have so much that it's like, we have no idea who to pick and where to go. And so it's just such a blessing to be able to sit here and be like, wow. Just with artists like you too, just sit back and just listen. What do we got? Where are y'all going? What's going on? Let's just hear it out. Yeah. So, I don't know if you disagree or agree with any of that, but tell me more. Let's circle back though. I wanted to talk more about rodeo because, to be honest, I'm a farmer.
Okay.
I don't know anything about rodeo. And so, was it like high school rodeo? Does that mean we're traveling? Were you specialized, or were you an all around? Tell me about that.
Okay, so let's see. I started in junior high, maybe a little before junior high. I was 8 or 9, I think. And I started out running barrels, picked up poles at some point. And then we started tying goats, and then we started roping calves, and by the end of junior high, close to high school, I decided I did not want to do barrels and poles anymore. I was going to be a goat tyer and a breakaway roper, so I focused on that. Yeah, we've been in so many different associations. We did JRCAs, we did Little Britches, we did Northwest Oklahoma, and then high school, we did the Oklahoma High School Rodeo Association, which was my favorite. And so, goats and breakaway for freshman and sophomore year, and then my junior year, I got introduced to cow horse, and absolutely fell in love with it. It's funny because the only great success I had was in goats, but I didn't love it. So I traded goats for cow horse, and we had a little breakaway pony. He was so sweet. His name was Snoop Dogg. Don't know why. We called him Snoopy. He was so broke. He could do anything. You could tie goats off of him. He was an incredible breakaway horse. We said, all right, I'm not going to just right off the bat try to get me a really nice cow horse. I'm just going to train him to do it. So I made some really good friends, and they totally took me in and showed me the ropes. And we got him trained for cow horse and absolutely loved it. Absolutely fell in love with cow horse. So then I was doing cow horse and breakaway, and went to nationals senior year on cow horse, mainly because there weren't very many of us, but I still made it. So I was glad about that. And yeah, I mean, I almost went to college to do cow horse. My plan for college changed drastically just months before I graduated. Since my sophomore year of high school, I was going to go to Oklahoma State, and I was going to do interior design. Go Pokes.
Poke 'em hard, poke 'em often.
And I was going to be on the ranch horse team, and I was going to do cow horse. I have a golden doodle, and if you know anything about doodles, those puppies are not cheap. So I had 2 summers to breed her and sell her puppies and make some money, and I was gonna trade in my truck for a bigger truck and buy a cow horse. And then the spring that I graduated came around, and we discovered that Oklahoma State had a music industry program. It was brand new, and we went to see it and talked to people about it, and they were like, yeah, it's brand new, you do music business, you do a songwriting class, you do all this stuff. And after a couple weeks, we decided, all right, I'm gonna go for music. So I had to tell myself that I wasn't quitting rodeo, I was just putting it on pause, because I wasn't gonna try to do both at the same time. I decided if I was gonna do music, I was going to go all in. So, completely dropped rodeo for college and went music industry. And I liked it, I really did. But after one semester, I was kind of seeing a bigger picture and decided I don't think college is the route for me. I feel like I'm going to go to college for 4 years and then graduate and be trying to do what I'm doing now. So I finished out the year. My parents said, actually, we agree. If you don't need to go to college, you're not going to be a doctor, you're not going to be a lawyer, you're not going to be anything like that. It's music. Do what you need to do. So they gave me the green light, and I dropped out, and I moved to Texas and started doing what I'm doing now. And I have not regretted it for a single second. I will always be a Pokes fan. I bleed orange. My dad went there. My sister went there. She's graduating this May. Interior design, oddly enough. And I will always love Oklahoma State. But I'm glad that I dropped out. Just because of what I'm doing. So.
I just want you to know, Garth Brooks went to Oklahoma State.
Yes,
he also dropped out and went back. So I'm not saying follow in his footsteps. I'd actually probably suggest against it because who he is right now. But that is wild. So fill me in though. I could be dumb. Is cow horse like cutting? But is it the one I see that it's like a loose? You're not cutting. You're not pulling from the whole group. You have one, and you're cutting as you go.
So yeah, cow horse. There's kind of two parts to it. It's reining and cow work. So you have a pattern. The reining comes first, and you have a pattern that you memorize, and you have to perform the pattern. It's more on your horse, honestly, than it is on you. You have to know what to do, obviously, and know your horse really well, but it's a reining pattern, and then when your reining pattern is done, you walk to the end of the arena, and you nod at the gate man, and he lets out a cow. And sometimes they are huge cows, and the horse that I was on was not very big. Like, I said pony earlier, he wasn't an actual pony, but he was like, maybe 15 hands. He was kind of little, so it was a little scary sometimes when the cows are huge. But they let the cow out, and they call it boxing. You kind of box him on the short side of the arena, and then you're kind of getting him to respect you a little bit, kind of get him to figure out what's going on, and then when you're ready, you get kind of up behind him and you take him down the fence. They call it going down the fence, and you got to pass the middle marker and get ahead of him and turn him, and everybody cheers, and it's like a whole thing. You turn him a couple times on the fence, and then you got to get him off the fence and like take him in a couple loops, and then switch sides, and then go in a loop on the other side, and then they blow the horn and you're done, and you get scored. So it's very different from everything that I had always done, because it wasn't timed. I mean, breakaway, you're there for hopefully less than 2 seconds. Goat tying, you're in the arena. I mean, your run is hopefully like 7 seconds or less. So for this to be like a 4-minute thing in the arena was wild to me, and it was so much fun. Absolutely so much fun, because I mean, you're connected to your horse. You gotta really know everything. And it's the horsemanship behind it, I think, is what makes it so much fun, because it's working with an animal, a giant animal, and it sounds so cheesy and cliche, but like respecting each other, like especially if you have good horses, like smart horses, it's just the most fun thing ever. It's absolute blast. I would recommend it to anyone. I never got to try cutting. I always wanted to. I had friends that were in cutting, and I always went to watch it at the high school rodeos. But cow horse, it's an adrenaline rush too. You get that cow going down the fence, you're going fast, and it's kind of scary. I fell off one time. I mean, flew. Almost hit the fence. It was embarrassing, but you get up and get back on, and they give you a new cow, and you keep going. So.
Yeah, I pretty much get adrenaline rush every time I'm on top because most of the time I always get thrown the biggest. Like, I had to do a shoot with a 18.2 hand, like, plow horse that was old as hell, and he was also had social anxiety. So whenever the other horse we were shooting with, like, was out of sight, even not out of sight, but like too far away, I had no control. And the gal who owned him was like an Aggie cowgirl, and she's like, "You're a cowboy. Take control." And I was like, "Of what? This guy does what he wants. Like, also, this is not my horse. Like, I'm not gonna like." This thing too is, yeah, I know how to work livestock. I grew up around, yeah, not that big, but steers. I learned how to work. I can get them to do what I want, but I'm not gonna like touch someone else's horse to get it to what I want. So it's pretty much just like I was just on a roller coaster ride that could kill me. But anytime they go past, like, I would just say try. We get into anything past my adrenaline run. I'm okay. We're here. Because I gotta watch trees. I'm like, because I was used to, the only time I really worked with horses on a farm, we had steers, but we were not. My dad didn't see a point in horses. We had 3 siblings that could run, and so we got really good at basketball because we break down defense. Scare the steer to stop, and you gotta move it which way you want.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime I did work, it was trail riding. And the only reason they invited me to do that, it was at camp. It was because I worked on livestock. So yeah, I know how to get from point A to point B. Is it going to be pretty? I'm going to look like Zach Top at the Houston rodeo. Honestly, people message me and they're like, he rode so bad. And I was like, hey, don't you dare talk bad about his riding. He said he was a farmer, and I don't want to hear it when I get a video of me riding online, okay?
I
Did you
saw
just
that
see it?
video, and I was definitely thinking it, but I wasn't going to say it because I don't know his background with horses. I was like, he still did it. He rode out there, took off his cowboy hat, impressed everyone. I was like, it looked great, honestly. Only people like us would notice that, so.
Well, there also is there's some controversy because Cody Johnson did that as well in that exact stadium, and there's drama behind that. It's funny, but yeah, the only time, like, if you see the one video that I forgot who dropped it, but from like the low, it's a video and it's like a low left angle looking up. It doesn't look that bad. Like, it's like, okay, I can kind of see it, but it's like, Then you see the one that's out, like up in the stadium, and you see how he literally bounces, and it's like, ooh. Hey, he had the confidence and he didn't fall off. He didn't fall off.
There you go.
Come on, Zach. Let's go.
Yeah, good job.
I'm curious though, you were talking about the value of a good horse, right? Did you run into any, I'm asking this and you're probably like, everyone runs into this, the like legacy riders or the rich riders that definitely did not deserve their horse? I know it happens a lot in barrel racing, or I hear the stories. Did you have to face that at all in competitors? You don't have to name names. Please actually don't. This is not, I know you wouldn't, you're too nice, but I'm just saying, like, I don't want people to come after me. But yeah, just did you have to face that at all, of like these horses that have done great things, and then the riders too, obviously, but then their daughters or sons like got it, and you're like, they do not deserve that horse?
You always see some of that, yeah, and you can judge, but I don't know, it's
You would do it
all
too.
over the place, and you just kind of have to, I mean, I wasn't obviously a great rider at first. It takes time, so I don't know, I didn't like personally know any of those people, I don't think, but yeah, you always see it, and you can judge if you want, but you don't know, really what's behind it, so.
Yeah. Well, I didn't expect to go this way, but I do want to head in this direction. I asked you before about your stylist, and it was supposedly your sister.
Mm-hmm.
And she hasn't contacted me about my bell-bottom jeans, but we maybe can get some of those later. But I'm curious, like, great style. I'm curious if you have any pointers for folks, like farmers like me. What are, like, you can name the classic, like, dead giveaways, but obviously we want people in Western wear. I hope everyone hears that. We want everyone in Western wear. Buy legitimate things, buy leather, buy cotton, buy everything you can, because that supports farmers and ranchers. So if you're going to wear it, that's all we ask, is wear it well.
Mm-hmm.
What are dead giveaways for you, or maybe tips and tricks with Western wear that folks, you might notice a lot, and you're like, just this little bit. One I had to learn, and I will say, I had to learn how to do a stack. I grew up in a house of hand-me-downs, and being as tall as we are, I did not think it was that big of a deal to like think that, you know, a flood's coming. And then I noticed the difference when I hated when I would put my leg over my knee, you know, and sit back, and I was like, oh wow, there's my whole boot. And then I saw like someone make fun of someone for stack, and I was like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. The worst part though is being tall. I try to do it now with certain pants, and they don't go tall enough. So I can't buy the pants and have stacks. So either I have to know I look dumb, or I don't get the pants. But you know far more than me. I'm curious what you see.
Well, I don't have a jeans problem because I'm almost 5'4". So the only jeans problem I have is them being too long. So I don't have any advice for that. My younger sister though is like 5'10", so she does have that problem. Kimes Ranch, women that need long jeans. Kimes Ranch jeans, I got you. But yeah. So my sister Abigail, she is my height, long dark hair, brown eyes, big smile. We are like clones of each other. So everything that fits her fits me. So she is perfect as my stylist. And I don't know how she was just born with the eye for it, but she has this awesome, funky, she can pull anything off style that's like, she's probably the best vintage clothing shopper I've ever met. It's absolutely incredible. I've never seen anything like it. She can pull something off the shelf, and I'll look at her and say, are you serious? There's no way that could work. And she's like, oh no, it can work, trust me. And she'll buy it and take it home and pair it with something or change it a little bit. And I'm like, you're a magician. How are you doing this? So yeah, she saves me a lot of times because I have the eye for it sometimes, but it's not nearly as good. So I go to her for all of my fashion stuff. I don't have it. It's her. It's all her. It's all Abby. So I don't have.
We can't bring her in here right now though. But like you can't, like the common man, like things you've seen maybe at your concerts, or now that being down here in Texas, you don't see like common things that you're like, that would never pass in the arena. Like you would get like laughed out.
Yeah.
There we go. See, now I see the gears, and now you're trying to consider what's nice and what's not nice. This is what I was looking for.
Country music concerts outfits can be so good or so bad. And okay, we'll start with cowboy hats. Cowboy hats. You can shape a cowboy hat really well, and you can shape a cowboy hat really bad. And if you can pull off a funky looking hat, more power to you, that's awesome. But like, I don't think I could ever stray from the cowboy. I only wear American hats, and I always go to the best hat store in Fort Worth, and they shape them like no other. I will never go anywhere else. I have wanted to wear different hats that aren't just the cowboy shape that I grew up rodeoing in, but I can't do it. If you can pull it off, that's great. But when I see, I don't know, a taco, it bothers me a little bit. But, you know, I don't want to offend anybody.
Okay, so translation, go to someone who knows more. Even if you get a pre-fitted, go to someone who knows more. But that's the thing too, is with pre-fitted, it's really difficult because once it's not set to you, it's hard to do that. Also, you're saying taco, but like the equestrian girls that I see in college have literally like that type hat.
I don't know where that has come from. I have no idea.
Okay, all right. I think hopefully people who hear me will see, but no, I've seen it. They have like straight defined.
The show horse world is a little bit different. It's not as traditional Western. Like,
okay, fair.
You're talking
fair
about
enough.
Sparkly shirts and the yeah, we never got into any of that. And it is different. There's definitely a difference. Yeah, cowboy like rodeo world is much more traditional.
Okay, so we started on a hat. Now we gotta go like wherever you want to stop, head to toe.
Okay, I feel like shirts generally aren't a huge issue. Like most guys are good just throwing on a button down. Long sleeve, short sleeve usually looks pretty good. I always see them tucked in. I feel like I don't see anybody wear them like not tucked in really, unless the outfit calls for it. So that's, you know, I like that the old kind of Zack top vintage looking shirts are coming back.
Rush poppers are back, and yeah, that like there's a ton of different designs that are starting to come back. Like I called it about 3 years ago, but I knew Wrangler would start making them again, and then Zack top did it, and now everyone's starting to make them again. But yeah, there's a lot of good old designs coming out.
Yeah. I have enjoyed seeing those because they look really cool. And then jeans, I'm a Wrangler girl. I have way too many Wranglers. I've got vintage Wranglers. I'm wearing some right now. I love them. But Kimes Ranch is always good. I don't like, and I'm seeing this mainly cities, like on social media, like city people. The Miss Me, like sparkly jeans are coming back. Ugh, no, don't do that.
On guys and girls.
Don't do that. That's not good. Those should have died a long time ago. So that's not good to see. But just a good pair of jeans. I used to think it was weird when guys rolled up their jeans, like cuffed the bottom of them. But
It always was weird.
actually,
And now it's come back.
it's growing on me. I kind of like it. Especially with a decent pair of Wranglers. I like it.
For me, again, I see it, I guess, in just being, low-class farmer. But, like, I like the idea because then guys can, it helps families. Like, bring that style back so poor families like us, like farmers, can buy and be in style when in reality we're just saving it so that when we hit our 6-inch growth spurt, they're still normal, But also I see a lot of guys, they're almost like, they keep pushing it. And that's the thing too, my gosh. So your sister thrifts really well. I can't thrift. I can't gain the skill because there's never my sizes because it's cool to be baggy. So if something fits my shoulders, it doesn't fit my arms. If it fits my arms, it doesn't fit my chest. If it fits my chest, it doesn't fit my length, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then I go into these thrift stores and I'm like, where's all the extra larges? And they're like, oh, Susie, who's like 4'6", bought all of them. And it's like, why does she need extra large? And so the same thing I'm kind of running into with guys. These like 5'6" old linebackers who have at least big hips. I'm like, okay, I have big hips too. So I get those jeans. And like, no, they actually got them because they wanted, 38, 40s so they could roll them halfway up their calf. And I'm like, can the tall people have anything? Anything? And so I feel like guys keep, every time I see a new like picture with someone doing it, it gets higher and higher. And before next thing you know, it's going to be like the roach killers. The boot just keeps getting longer and longer. Next thing you know, the guys are like up to their hips.
My gosh. Yes. No, I definitely see that. Just like an inch cuff, that's all you need. Don't go past that.
I've heard a rumor, and I'm curious what you would say. Well, not rumor, but I've kind of seen it. Black jeans, like black Wranglers.
I don't mind. It adds to a style, I think.
Yeah, I just don't. I've always just seen it as like, I don't see many people wearing it. Also, it shows, if I go out Honky Talkin, like, it shows my sweat, like, the next day. Like, I'll just hook on my seams. If it's, like, too hot, if I go to, like, a festival, if it's a hot day, I'm like, never mind. We're not wearing those. Those are just going to be dress pants. Those are just going to be dress pants.
Oh, my God.
And also, I see a lot of light wash, with, like, stretch light wash. And there is, again, it's not about, like, what's cowboy, what's not, but it's, like, there's just those certain type of light wash jeans, and I'm like, certain people wear those types of jeans, and I'm not the type that's like, you can't wear something ever, but it's like, I don't want to be affiliated with those guys. And so any of my buddies who go jean shopping, I'm like, just stay away from those colors.
Okay. Light wash, like, just a light colored denim, or the ones that are kind of...
You know what I'm talking about.
Stone washed.
Look at Nashville. Literally, right now, we could both pull up our phones and type in Nashville country, get 2 different algorithms. Every guy in that would have light wash jeans with a little bit of stretch.
I don't mind them if the style is right.
Of course. And they look great. It matches a lot. I mean, I have my jean ladder right here, and I have every color. Like khaki, two dark blues, light, brown, black.
Ooh, not bad. I kind of like brown Wranglers.
People have looked at me weird until they, like, it grows on them. It grew on me. And I love it. I love earthy colors, and so I put that with like a good light top, like a khaki top, or like a pop of a color. Brown on brown too works, like brown on tan.
Yeah.
It's nice. You wear a denim jacket too.
For girls wear different things all the time. They wear all colors, all styles, all of it. And then guys, I really appreciate when a guy doesn't just wear regular denim and a t-shirt. Like, if I see a guy that I can tell has some style with the brown Wranglers or whatever it is and a top that actually goes, I'm like, you're either a really cool person or you have a really good girlfriend because you have style and I really appreciate it.
If you want to compliment me, Caroline, just say I'm cool. It's fine. You can compliment me. You didn't have to go into this hypothetical of like, if I see this, all right, I'll take the compliment. But talking about concerts, where have you seen? I want to ask so many questions about concerts, and I know you have some fun things, but I really want to make sure you get to tell people what you want, and also they get to hear those good stories. But Where have you found great connection with the crowd at a specific venue or a specific show? It doesn't have to be a venue, you know, like maybe it's just a one-time show you had, but like have you recently seen just like a really good connection? Because again, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think most of your crowd will know your music, right? So they're showing up, they're like, what? And then they see you, they hear you, and they're like, I'm here. Where have you seen that best at? And if you have a specific story, come on.
My favorite venues are always dance halls. So we just played there not too long ago, but the White Horse in Austin. Absolutely love that crowd. Austin has good little honky tonk, like dance honky tonks like that. Sam's Town Point is also a great one. But the White Horse is special to me because they make it about dancing. They make it about two-stepping and swing dancing, and that's what people come there to do. So they have a built-in crowd, people that just want to dance to good country music. And I have enjoyed that more than any venue I've played so far. And I can't say that I've played at a million places, but it's a tiny little place, itty-bitty stage, like just to the eye. It's not anything that you point out, but you get in there and you get a show going and those people show up and that dance floor is packed. And from my point of view, standing on stage, playing my music and watching these people have a great time dancing to it and knowing that I'm writing songs that people can dance to is probably the best feeling in the world. That is what I look for every time. And I love the venues that aren't as much like that, like it's more just seating, or maybe it's, I don't know, people are more stationary. That's fine too. But those little dance hall venues are where it's at. And that's where I feel the most at home. Because like, if we're going to talk about dancing, grew up dancing. I love to two-step. It's my favorite thing to go out and do. Swing dancing, all the things. Like Billy Bob's, I feel very at home at Billy Bob's. I love it. So yeah, those are the venues that I look for and connect with the most, and I connect with the crowd. And that place is cool because they'll have 3 or 4 bands in a night. We've got the midnight slot next time we play there, but the last 2 times we've started at 8. We'll have the 8 to like 9:30, 9:45 slot, and then afterwards you hang out and you dance and you meet people and they say, oh my gosh, we love dancing to your songs and all the things, and that's the greatest. So that's been my favorite. White Horse in Austin has been my favorite.
When I saw your content down about your time at White Horse, I really thought you fit in really well there. And that actually kind of circles back to what I was talking about, the difference between country and Western and the honky tonk scene as a whole. Because there's a honky tonk that's like a dive bar, and there's a honky tonk that's like Gillies, right? There's a honky tonk that's like country, and there's a honky tonk that's Western. Did you feel that down there? Did you see that? Because I really see, and I try to teach it, that Austin has a really robust scene, but it's not what people expect when I say honky tonk. And two, like there's that tug of like, well, which one's traditional? Because one's older, they maintain the nudie suits and the twang of the Western sound, but then also one, like that's not a saloon, that type is not a saloon, so it's like, what do you feel in that whole thing of difference in country and Western, Gillies and dive bars and the Western scene as a whole, specifically down in Austin? What was your experience?
Austin is one of a kind. They have everything. They've got South by Southwest going right now, or last week. We were there
last weekend.
We were there last year, so I got to see a lot of it. And they definitely have a lot of diversity, which I think is cool. And they have a lot of different kinds of bars and honky tonks. And you can see anything you want in that city. But the White Horse is definitely special because they do a really good job with the bands that they hire when it comes to music you can dance to. And it's country and Western. Like, they have some incredible bands. It can get a little bluesy too. Let's see, last time we played there, I had never seen him before, but the guy that played after us, his name was John Mullinax, I think that's how you say his last name. And he was absolutely incredible, insane. And it was a little bit rock and roll, a little bit blues, but still very country. So it was like, I don't know. He was a little bit different, but it still worked for that kind of place. And so that's kind of what I appreciate about White Horse, is they find people that you can still dance to, but they're not just super basic country band, you know? And like
Yeah.
Paige Pleasance, she plays there a lot. She's awesome. She's very Western, but yeah. So there's that, and then I played at, let's see, what's it called? Little Longhorn Saloon in Austin, and they're very country. They're more traditional, like country music. But that place is fun. they have they have some weird events at Little Longhorn Saloon, and then that's all I've played, I think. Oh, Sam's Town Point.
Mm-hmm.
I love Sam's Town Point. I played there. I can't believe I forgot. I played there like 3 times now, I think. And they're kind of like Whitehorse, honestly. They have Silverado played there. Caitlin Butts played there. Jonathan Tyler and the Northern Lights. Let's see. They're country and western. Ellis Bullard, have you heard him?
Mm-hmm. Honky Tonk, Ain't Noise Pollution.
Yeah, he was good. That dude has a really cool voice.
He's who I think of when I think of Austin, to be honest, like Austin scene. But also LA kind of has that scene too, and that's, yeah, it's so hard to put into words, and this is what I'm talking about. I wish we were so much more educated in our scene, because obviously there's a certain point where it's like, screw it. Like, it's country, it's western, we're just here to dance, let's go.
Exactly.
You know, as long as everyone trusts each other, but also there's that point too, and I would love to get to a point where we could all describe those types of places, where one's a little, you know, saloony dive bar, and one's a little hippie honky tonk, and one's a little, you know, neon nightlife. Like, however we want to say it, just so that way the country scene, I feel like, can thrive even more, because then those niches get represented well, and it's not everyone trying to match each other or be different. Yeah. It's just the fact of, hey, like, if you like this sound more, like, go over here, and also this is here, so mix. And kind of like the Red Dirt scene, where then we can have pairs of people just playing for each other, and one headline, one opens, one headlines, you know?
Yeah.
But I do really think Austin's doing something right. Like, really.
I think they are.
How did dancers connect with you? Did they connect pretty well with you? You said you got people moving, but did you feel like they actually, like, they listened to like what y'all are putting down, or did you just see them kind of moving around and having fun?
Honestly, a lot of both, I think, because we have quite a few originals, and then the covers. We do some of the classic covers. We do Jolene. We just threw All My Exes Live in Texas into the set. That one got me. That one was fun. I have not sang that on stage and not messed up the words yet, so that's fun. I'm sure.
Where are you messing up the words?
I don't know. I don't know why I'm messing up the words. There's like 4 names in the first verse, and I get them all mixed up. It's crazy. But yeah, the dancers there, it was kind of both. And it was a room, I mean, packed full. That place is always packed. So there's a lot of people watching from the stage that I appreciate. And it's kind of fun, especially with the originals. One of them that always gets people to kind of do the same thing is The Man with the 45. It's so funny to start that song, because we all start it at the same time, and my drummer's got the maracas back there, and we like start that song, and you can look across the room and watch people go, like, start moving with it. I love it every time. It's hilarious.
Exactly.
And then with the covers, like All My Exes, the dance floor was packed. They loved it. And actually, with Man with the 45, there was only one couple dancing, and it was like a salsa dance of some sort. I was mesmerized, and everybody else was just kind of vibing. So it's kind of fun to watch how the dancers react, how the room reacts to different songs. And then, like, Country Rose, I think that's a pretty decent dancing song. So everybody was dancing to that one.
It's a good buckle brusher.
Yeah, not a ton of people know how to waltz anymore, which is really sad. So, like, Life of an Outlaw, there were probably 3 or 4 couples dancing. I love playing a waltz and seeing who can waltz. And a lot of times, a lot of places I've been, nobody does, or they just 2-step. The world needs to start waltzing.
Can you waltz?
I can waltz. Thank goodness.
Oh, shoot, that was confident. Okay.
I don't get to very often because there aren't very many guys that know how to waltz.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, It's pretty interesting to watch how the room reacts to different songs.
I'm glad you recognize that though, because a lot of bands today don't even like you see it as a lot of people don't know how to waltz, which is 100% correct. But as someone who waltzes, I know that a lot of bands don't know what a waltz is. I always have to be like 3/4 time, and they're like, oh, yeah, definitely. I'm like, okay, thank you. Like I feel bad because I'm like, y'all haven't seen a waltz before, but you're about to. But there's just been such a huge disconnect of musicians and the dancers, and yeah, Austin's doing really well to reconnect that. Although they're also bringing back, they have like 4 different styles of two-step in that small of a town. Like not small as in population, but area-wise. Yeah, they have like 3 to 4 different types of two-step. And that's the only way, like, I roast to those guys. That's the only thing I say about them. I'm just like, yeah, once you'll figure out how to two-step, like, or not how to, but decide on one, like, y'all could be, like, taking over Texas. But I still, like, I'll ask someone what a two-step is, and like, it's a quick, slow, slow. And I was like, okay, what are you doing? And they're like, yeah, it's like, we call this a two-step. And I was like, okay, you know.
Yeah. As a girl, like, going dancing somewhere, it's so confusing. It's so confusing because somebody will walk up, say, hey, you want to dance? You never danced with them before. You don't know what they're going to do. They might half step. They might two step. They might do this weird, like, in between thing, and you just got to figure out how to follow. The world needs to decide what we're going to be doing. I like a half step too, but we need to figure out what the two step is and just stick with that because it's so confusing.
Okay, half steps on a lot of rodeos. Is your half step a quick, slow, like 3 steps, or is it just walking, like a 1 step?
It's just like walking.
Okay. See, a lot of people, like, it's funny, half the people I know call it half step a quick, slow, which there's like, it's hard to describe. There's very few songs that feel right to half step because when I do a half step, most of the time I just want to take another step and make it a 2 step, you know?
Yeah.
But half of the other population thinks half step is a 1 step, you know, and 1 step is just walking. So it's like, why not just 2 step, you know, or do something. Which again, I as long as people stay on beat, I really don't care. I laugh though when people 1 step or half step, however you want to call it, and they can't even stay on beat. I'm like,
yeah,
it's a bar. Do what you want, but like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's always interesting. You know, as a girl having to follow. Woo.
Yeah, I always teach our guys. I'm glad you mentioned that because I always teach our guys that y'all have to learn about 1,000 different styles because everyone says they're doing one style and it's their adaptation of it.
Yeah.
So the follow is already adapting to you, so you need to adapt to your follow as much as you can. And however she's moving, meet her where she's at, you know. And so make it easy on y'all because y'all do so much. I would never want to follow. I'd never want to be a follow.
Well, I mean, we don't have to think as hard most of the time because it's just following.
Well,
but yeah, it's
a lot of people find value in like West Coast swing and contemporary styles because, you know, as the follow, you get to talk back, you know, and I'm like, every girl that has ever followed me has always been great with it because they don't think. Like most of them, I've had so many that just lay their head on my shoulder and close their eyes if it's like a slower song because they don't got to do anything. I look around, I make sure everything's safe, and they just hang out. Oh, but people a lot of times see the word like submissive or follow as like bad. It's like chill.
Yeah. And then like you go to Billy Bob's and you got college kids that are learning how to dance, and you've got like middle-aged people that are really good, and then I love watching the older couples. I love it. They're so good. You can tell that they've been dancing together for 40 years, and they just move like water together. It's amazing. But like, I am a young person, and so I dance with the younger people, and it's always a new experience because there's so many people, which I appreciate. There are so many people learning how to dance, and so every time that somebody asks me to dance and I don't know, like I haven't seen them on the dance floor, I don't know what they're gonna do, and they go, I'm not very good. Every time that happens, I'm like, that's okay, here we go, and I help them. I cannot tell you how many times I have taught a stranger how to dance at Billy Bob's. And
I think a lot of people are learning how to move. I don't know if everyone's learning how to dance yet, but we're trying.
Yeah.
As long as people though like you, like as long as people are listening to your music, like as long as people are listening to country music while they dance,
Yeah.
in the end, how can we judge them? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I appreciate that about Billy Bob's too, because that house band, oh my gosh, every time they have someone play on that little stage by the dance floor, they are so good. I have
Killers.
not heard a bad band on that little stage ever.
So good.
So that's always fun.
Is Billy Bob's a dream for you?
Definitely. Yeah.
Where is it up there for you? Like, where does it rank for you?
Kane's Ballroom is definitely up there. Billy Bob's is pretty dang close to the top. When it comes to venues in Texas, like you have the Ryman and all of that up in Nashville. But Texas, I don't know if I can put them in an order, but Kane's, Billy Bob's, and I really want to play Luck Reunion, big stage Luck Reunion someday. So those are probably some of my top ones.
I think that's a good list. I think it's a really good list. Circling back to finish up our talk on Austin, you said you like to people watch. I love Honky Talkin because I love to people watch too. I think that Honky Tonk should be like a coffee shop where people bring the energy. You know, when we have a lot of people, the volume gets louder. I should not go in at like 8 and the music's already cranked and lights are going crazy.
Yeah.
I think we should be able to talk throughout the entire night, right?
I agree.
And that's because I love people watching. I love overhearing conversations. I love studying people. It's so fun. So I'm curious for you, what are some, like, you don't have to, again, rank or put them in certain orders or give me a certain amount, but like, what are some of your favorite people watching discoveries or like consistencies you see while up on stage?
It's fun to watch strangers dance with each other. Like, you can tell that they don't know each other. That's always interesting. And then people sitting at the bar. Like, if the stage is somewhere you can see the bar, it's kind of fun to watch those people interact for the first time. Oh, the poor bartenders. I feel bad for the bartenders most of the time. When I can remember, I'm always like, take care of our bartenders. Tip the bartenders. Like, their job is probably not fun at this time of night. I don't know. Everywhere's so different, too. It's like the little honky tonks, like Whitehorse. There's a bajillion people, and they're all doing different things. Like, there's a bar across the room, and then... Is there a pool table in there? There's something kind of in the middle of the room, and then you have the dance floor. And so there's so much to watch. Like, I can't keep my eye on one thing. And then you have, like, the Rustic in Dallas, where it's really just a restaurant, so there isn't a whole lot to watch there.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's, like, a birthday party or some really drunk people that make it interesting. But I don't know. I just like to watch strangers meet and interact. I always think that's interesting.
Yeah, that is true. I do love watching how, like, leads lead and follows follow when they don't know each other. That's pretty good to do. How do you respond to music? Like, have you being an artist, do you take in art differently now when you're at a show? Do you, like you're saying, you know, you're up on stage and you're like, hey, take care of your bartenders. Is there something as an audience member where you're now taking in concerts differently? Like, you want to be a gold star audience member, or you're like, you're judging, you're like, ooh, or hey, I really like that, or are you just good at like categorizing your focus and just being able then to sit back and take it in as like a concert goer?
Yeah, it's definitely changed my perspective a little bit, knowing kind of, you know, how it feels up there. So I always clap. I don't know why. I feel like I don't really expect people to clap after all of my songs. Like, they're not going to. They're dancing. It's fine. If there's a lot happening, I would probably be weird if they did after every song. But when it comes to, like, someone taking a really cool solo or hit a really awesome note, like, whistle, make some noise, I love doing that. And then I, myself, have a really bad RBF. So I'm aware of it. And when I'm on stage and I see people in the crowd, and you know they're enjoying it, but they're just standing there watching and they're just paying attention, so they're not smiling, they're almost kind of just in a daze, they look mad. And I'm like, I don't want the person on stage to see me sitting here like looking angry, even though I'm enjoying it, having a great time. So I'm always like over there bebopping, like trying to smile. Just because, I don't know, it makes you feel better. But yeah, that's an interesting question. I hadn't really thought about that. I just kind of adopted different things. Hadn't really put a whole lot of thought into it.
Yeah. I just know as like being a dancer or doing like other things, gigs, you know, like hosting our show, I take in now other people hosting or other people dancing in very differently.
Yeah.
And dancing, I can still after stepping up to be an instructor, and funny enough, I've actually just ran into a situation at Billy Bob's where I got DQ'd from a competition because I was an instructor, and I was like, I've never been trained, I've never done anything crazy, so shout out Billy Bob's yet again. But after becoming an instructor, it's very interesting now to watch people and like have to turn that off or listen to people's instructions and see how they teach it. So that's been a little easier though. But yeah, as a host, I'm picking up on everything, and like you're saying, I'm like, yeah, come on, like I'll make noise. I'm like, okay, like I call and respond. I know how uncomfortable they can be, and so I want to make sure they're like,
yes, absolutely.
they're supported, you know. And I'm actually, if a band does bad, I've never been an artist, but if a band does bad, I do not cheer for them. I let them know, or I don't go dance too. If they play a really crappy song, that's how I really pitch my vote. I'm like, I'm not on the dance floor. But yeah, I'm usually the first one to start the wave of claps, because especially if I'm like grabbing a drink and I realize the song's over and I hear no one doing anything, I don't care how big the bar is or how many people are in there. I'm like, why is no one clapping? So I'll turn around and I give them a little, a rebel yell and clap for them just to get it started, and I just go back to what I was doing.
Yeah, especially like solo acoustic shows. I've played so many solo acoustic shows in the stockyards, like all by myself, and I know how it feels to play to a room of like 4 people, and you play a song that you really love and you know that you did a good job, and like there's not a peep afterwards. So anytime I end up somewhere watching someone play a solo acoustic gig, I'm like making noise if they're good. If they're not, I'm kind of like you, I won't do much. But if they're good, I will be the one person in the room making noise, because I know how that feels. So that is definitely something I do.
Yeah, sing along with them too.
Mhm.
Any way you can join in, because again, it's a show, but as long as they're leading it, you can join in on them. And I know that y'all love that stuff when you make it different than anything else they played. That's why I love Braxton Keith too, and his Lonely as a Lone Star.
Mhm.
No, Lonely as a Lone Star. Yeah, he talks about that. He's like playing to a crowd that talks too loud. Like, love that the way he sings it too. I was like, yeah, that's so true. I can feel it, especially down here in the yard. It's like I see that all the time. I see that all the time. But I realize too, we got to be respectful of our listeners' time. Quick fire. I'm curious again. I hate these types of questions because you're so much more than just a girl, but you are a girl. So, woman, however you want to say it. See, look at me now. But I am curious, we already talked about fashion, but talking about other things. Ella Langley claims that her bangs changed her life. How do you feel now that you've converted, what was it, 6 months ago?
To bangs? Having bangs?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like bangs heavy. That's the thing too, is the way like you changed your hair, like your bangs how they were. So like how long ago was that, and how is that? Has it changed your music at all? Has it changed your confidence? You were already talking about cutting off your hair, so like I feel like we're having some identity crisis here, Caroline.
I was told by everyone, don't you dare cut your hair, so I haven't done it.
Yeah, they were right. Whoever said that, listen to them.
Yeah. No, I figured they would be right. I was just like, I got out my curling iron, and I was like, I don't want to do this. It takes way too long. Like, what if I just cut it? And then, I don't know. I know that's a bad idea. I may do it someday, but not yet. There's still a chance. I have loved having bangs. I had bangs when I was really little, but it was like, I don't have a natural middle part. It was like over to the side, and they like swept. I always had those when I was little. And then I grew out of them and didn't have bangs for a long time. And I just got kind of bored of it. It was just long, straight hair. When my hair dries, it is pin straight. So there's not a whole lot happening. And then my older sister, Abby, cut her bangs. And they were adorable. And we look a lot alike. So I was like, Abby, cut my bangs. So she did. And they kind of do different things. They look a little bit different every day. But they are not for the weak. They will make you regret your life decisions. That is for sure. But it's worth it. It's worth it. I think it has been a confidence boost, and you can almost style your hair better for your outfits with bangs. You know, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I think it does well too for your sound and your aesthetic you go for. I'm just waiting for people to bring back what do they call it, the aqua netting? Like we brought back a lot of different hairstyles. Like, I love the Farrah Fawcett, which some people try
Oh
to
my
do, but yeah,
gosh.
I want the 90s or 80s, whatever it was,
Yes.
when like,
Yes. Oh, Maggie Antone's hair is adorable. She's got those fluffy bangs, and hers is
I
shorter.
would say you're like that. You're in that category.
Yeah, a
I would
little
say anyone like around that, and she's doing a little more. Of course, she's more of like the Austin Western,
bit.
but I'd say all like we all are kind of in that same category of the like the Western grunge, cutesy, like yeah, like
Yeah,
it's
I
it's
love it.
it's all unique. But I would say out of the country artists, you have the classic look of like people trying to be Southern Belle or like punk, of like hard looks, heavy eyeliner and all that. And then you have like the cutesy Western grunge. Because I would put even like Emily Zeck and
Yes,
she's
yeah,
bringing back like
that's
60s, not
adorable.
70s, but 60s style. I
Yeah,
would count her in the same category.
that girl, yeah, she's got the straight across bangs, and they look great. I don't know how she pulls it off.
Some people got it, some people don't. That's it. That's it. But I'm curious, where can people, because we have to wrap it up. I feel like you and I could talk for another hour. But
Yeah.
where can people find you and your bangs? Where are you going? What do you got coming up? Again, end of March. Where are you looking at? I know we got our release coming up in May. Where can they
Mhm.
stay connected with you and stay up to date with you? Social media, music, everything.
Yes, so social media, TikTok and Instagram. I just switched it from Caroline Grace Country to official Caroline Grace. That was my dad's suggestion. It's probably smart. And then we've got, oh man, we're kind of off the road right now. I'll be in Nashville first week of April. Gonna try to meet some people, maybe play a couple acoustic gigs, but kind of last minute. So we'll see. And then we're coming home, and I have a little hometown gig. And then I'm driving from Western Oklahoma down to Georgetown on April 6th for Two Step In. Um, I'll be hanging out with Tanner Ushery and his band. They invited us, so that'll be fun. But I don't have very many shows right now. Let's see. Let me look at my calendar. We have Eskimo Joe's. Okay, so Eskimo Joe's in Salty Bronc and Stillwater will be playing for the Boys from Oklahoma weekend.
Come on. That's huge.
Yes, I'm so excited. We're gonna probably be early in the day for both of those shows, but we are gonna be there. We're gonna be there Thursday through Sunday, I think. And yeah, Eskimo Joe's kind of street party like thing on the 11th, and then Salty Bronc on the 12th. So hopefully we're gonna get a couple more. We've got a little bit of time, but so that's
Killer.
happening. And then, so my drummer JC, he has a band called Atlantis Aquarius, and I think I mentioned this earlier. I've been doing
Yes,
background.
and y'all just did the gospel album.
Yes. So we are driving to Denver the weekend after the Boys from Oklahoma thing, and we have a show, an Atlantis Aquarius show. I'm singing back up on the 17th, April 17th. So anybody in Denver, come see us at HQ. That's where we'll be. And we're trying to get a Caroline Grace show the same weekend, either in Denver or between there and like Amarillo for on our way back. And then Gypsy Cafe, I think that's more of a private thing. That'll be back up in Stillwater. That's right after Calf Fry. Now, I'm not playing at Calf Fry, sadly, but we're going, so we'll be there. And then we'll be back at White Horse on May 23rd. So.
Come on. Day after my birthday. I might have to make it down there to have a birthday weekend out of it.
That'd be
But
great.
you
love
officially made our longest episode. And if
sorry.
anyone's watching, you can clearly tell that, yeah, we switched outfits because it's a different day. We had some technical difficulties, but it all worked out. Always super blessed to have someone like you come on here, Caroline, and
Thanks for
I
inviting
greatly
me.
look forward to one day you again playing Calf Fry and Two Step In and Billy Bob's and all of it. But in the meantime, we're really proud of what you're doing, and
Thank you.
keep being creative. Keep doing that Western thing, but anytime you're ready to drop your own gospel or bluegrass, we'd love to hear it, because I just know there's going to be a Barefoot Hillbilly album coming out soon.
Probably.
It's a pleasure having you on the show. Can't wait to get you back on here, but
Thank
you
you.
enjoy the rest of your day, all right?
Thank you. You too.